This Orthodox religious icon depicts Elijah, the preeminent prophet of his era. At this moment, he is operating at the peak of his calling. This bronze figurine represents the god Baal. Elijah had just publicly humiliated this deity, single-handedly defeating 450 of Baal's prophets to prove that Yahweh was the true God. After a public triumph of that magnitude, there is a logical assumption that such a victory will usher in an era of peace and earthly success. Instead, Elijah receives a death warrant. Queen Jezebel issues a decree to have him hunted down and executed. Doing exactly what was asked has resulted in a terrifying punishment. The reality of his situation is the polar opposite of his expectations. Elijah's resolve fractures. His faith evaporates into panic, and he flees a full day's journey into the deep wilderness. This photograph shows the kind of dry, sloping landscape where Elijah finally stops. He falls asleep under a lone tree, drained of the will to live. He has reached the intersection of physical exhaustion and dashed hopes. This is burnout, the state where mental and physical reserves are simply gone. His experience raises a difficult question. What happens to human resolve when zealous obedience leads to an outcome that feels like a total failure? Sitting in the dirt, Elijah reaches his lowest point, praying for his own life to end. There is no divine lecture here. Elijah isn't scolded for his lack of faith, and there is no condemnation of his despair. Instead, an angel appears twice to provide baked bread and water, inviting Elijah to eat and go back to sleep. When a person hits a wall this severe, the immediate remedy is basic physical care and support, not a debate. This panoramic view shows the rocky peaks of Mount Horeb. With his physical strength restored, Elijah travels to this mountain to confront his situation. When asked what he is doing there, Elijah vents. He claims he is the only faithful person left, and for all his work, he is being hunted. A violently shattering wind tears at the rocky mountain, followed by a massive earthquake and a blazing fire. God was not in the wind, the earthquake, or the fire. It was a departure from the ancient expectation of a loud, destructive deity. In the silence that follows the destruction, there is only a gentle, quiet whisper. This is where God is present. The response to chaotic human anxiety is a steady, quiet calm. In that quiet space, Elijah's assumption that he is entirely alone begins to dissolve. This visualization shows the scale of Elijah's miscalculation. He believed he was alone, but there was a remnant of 7,000 Israelites who had never bowed to Baal. The mission to address the nation's lack of repentance isn't over. It is changing its operational shape. Elijah is given 3 specific tasks: to anoint Hazael, to anoint Jehu, and name Elisha his successor. This redirection moves Elijah's focus off his own immediate survival and back onto a multi-generational plan. These plans and wisdom operate on a scale far removed from limited, expectation-driven perspectives. Confusion and disappointment are natural when faithful work yields painful, unexpected results. The responsibility is to complete the tasks within our capacity and trust the hidden plan for the outcome. This historical moment mirrors the principle in Luke 12. A believer's reward is not a guarantee of earthly vindication, but an imperishable treasure secured in heaven.